Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Molitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. New York Jets. Ugh. Puke. There are some bad teams in the NFL that I will happily hate watch on Sundays. The Jets, I think, is going to be low on my list of, I'm going to willingly tune into these games. I think the Aaron Glenn experience is just it's going to end this year. I don't think he is head coach material. I think we've learned that last year with the cavalcade of mistakes that were made in terms of putting together a coaching staff and managing a team.
He had to do it again. I mean, he kind of wholesaled it.
I know it. It's a shit show.
I don't know how much you push this stuff out of your head during, like the off-season break, but like I really don't think about NFL a lot. I take a break. I give my brain a break from it. And when I sat down with this team last week and started to like update some of the notes, I'm like, God, who's the coach here now? I kind of in my brain I put him in the dude with the other disaster teams. And it's like, all right, like who I can't remember who took over here. And then I'm like, oh no, I forgot they kept him. Like they just ran it back and let him pick like a whole new coaching staff.
Good God, that's Frank Reich's music. What the fuck? What?
So I'm with you as far as it really feels like this is hey, we have it on the Johnson boys got this on the calendar on that Monday. Like just fire Aaron. Just penciled in for that Monday and he's just gone.
Hey, Andy, last year's Jets data is pretty fucking hilarious. It's especially at the end of the season when they were starting Brady Cook. Their offense was 0th percentile. When 0th and their defense conceded. Okay. Don't just take my word for it here. They conceded 3 of the 5 worst performances by a defense all season long at the tail end of the 2025 campaign. If you look at total EPA that a quarterback generated in a day on the job, 3 of the top 5 were versus the Jets week 16, 17, and 18. Like they were hilariously non-competitive at the end of the season, and it felt like the plan was in place. They had given Aaron Glenn the green light to go lose games in pathetic fashion, and they did their job brilliantly. They made Mitch Trubisky look good as a backup for the Bills in week 18. They gave Tyler Shuck's best game of the season. When the Saints when they went down to play the Saints, Drake May was brilliant in week 17 against them, and Trevor Lawrence also was an unstoppable force. So it really tilted, I think, a lot of perception of teams and ratings because they were such a fraudulent, kind of entity at the end of the year. And why they decided to give the green light to Aaron Glenn to do that is a mystery to me. Their 5-game losing stretch to finish 3-14 gave them the 2nd overall pick. They then went through a very, very strange draft cycle where even with the Jets on the clock, the market was unclear if they were going to take Reese or Bailey, and they ended up taking Bailey. So pass rush solved, I guess. But as you look at the Jets, Andy, it's a roster with holes and no long-term answer at coaching quarterback. So there's really no positive upside to be sold to Jets fans about this upcoming season. I think the best possible outcome is another 3-14 year where you're at the top of the draft and you get to take your quarterback of the future. The problem is they have enough talented players, and they did enough in free agency, I think, to accidentally win so many games that they're not going to get a bite at that apple. I think they're going to be kind of right in that 10 to 12 range probably in terms of first round pick, and maybe the third or fourth team that needs a quarterback that's going to take a guy. So they've set themselves up perfectly to not fix the major problem with this team. Good job.
Yeah, and I think they played against their wins were all against backup quarterbacks, I believe.
That sounds right.
They had two straight wins. For a 3-14 team to have two straight wins with the bye in between them. So they beat Cincinnati and Cleveland. I have a fun trivia question for you. Do you remember that Cleveland game?
Oh, yes.
Fields was your leading passer in that game. How many yards did he throw for?
It was under 100, 82.
It was 54.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Cook threw for 60 in the finale. Buffalo Bills.
Oh, I just flipped that box score open, Andy. You want to know the fucking funniest part? 42 of those 54 yards was a 42-yard pass to Breece Hall, which I'm sure was a screen pass that he took.
I'm guessing that was no air yards.
that was a negative air yard pass for sure. The game that really made me want to claw my eyes out was the Denver Broncos international one. You remember that standalone London game that was 13-11? Oh God, that was so fucking painful. They got a blocked kick return for a touchdown to cover against the Buccaneers week 3. I remember that one fondly. I think I had the Jets that day. I don't know why.
We bet the Jets like 3 or 4 times, and I feel like we did really well. It was like, against the spread, because they, especially early in the season before the defense started to say like, I'm tired, dude. It was like the big guy in Green Mile. I'm so tired, boss. Like, just I can't do this. You're putting Justin Fields out there. You're putting Brady Cook out there. Like we just don't have it in us anymore. And they did cover some games early, and then there were some bad beatdowns. The Miami game, they lost to Miami 34-10. We just talked about Miami's season last year. 48-20 to Jacksonville, 29-6 to the Fighting Shucks, 42-10 and 35-8 to close the season out after their win in Atlanta, which was, again, I'm pretty sure against a backup quarterback in that spot. So
no, it was Cousins. Well, I guess Cousins was back. Cousins was backing up.
Got you on a technicality.
By a technicality, yeah. Cousins was backing up. What's his face? Yeah, that was a goddamn mess. God, what a shit show. These guys, they were just awful to watch last year, and it was miserable and frustrating. And they're somehow running it back with a bunch more money spent in the offseason on players who I don't know that they really moved the needle for me. But yeah, I mean they've set themselves up perfectly to not get a quarterback.
12. I have it written down as 12 of the 22 assistant coaches were replaced. Which is just funny, because if you're going to run it back with Aaron Glenn, why are we doing all this? You're bringing in Frank Reich. He's going to call the plays. You're bringing in Brian Duker from Miami. Glenn calls the defense. They did keep their special teams coach, Chris Banjo. Yeah, this is similar. It wasn't a decent special teams. Bill Musgrave's on this coaching staff. A quarterback coach. Oh man, I don't know a lot of other names. I don't know that there's a lot to be excited about. Obviously, we're not excited about Aaron Glenn. And then during the season last year, we talked about the defense quitting. Trading Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams probably didn't help, like the excitement level in the defensive locker room either. So, I don't blame them.
Andy, Bill Musgrave's last stop.
I don't know. Like
he was the quarterback. He was the quarterback coach last year for the Browns. He did a great job with that Browns quarterback room last year. So let's give him a try with this quarterback room. I mean, the Jets. It's worth noting they maybe did grab a little bit of of solace in the fact that the quarterback you drafted, Sam Darnold, won a Super Bowl last year?
Yeah. That's something. That's a feather in your cap.
Yeah. Wonderful. But no, in seriousness, the I don't know. I don't understand why they conducted things this way. I think Darren Mougey being given the latitude to do what he's doing is surprising. Woody Johnson is obviously kind of a lost owner.
What was their point differential last year, rounded to the nearest 100?
Was it 200?
It was.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's not very good. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't see a positive arc playing out for the Jets this year, next year, or in kind of the anytime in the near future, which is not all that different than the way that has been. When was last Jets playoff team? Was it the Sanchez?
It was, yeah. They went to against the Colts. I think they had an AFC title game. That was a fun one, Rex Ryan years. But we were talking, that is before I had children, and I got a kid going into 9th grade. So this is a long time ago in a different stretch of the NFL, man. It's like second part of the Patriots kind of dynasty there. It's been a while. It feels like it's going to be another minute. It kind of feels bad if you're a Jets fan too, because you're not getting this false hope of like maybe, as we just talked about the Dolphins, maybe Slowick has something, maybe Malik Willis has something. You don't get any of that. Like the Geno thing, I think we're done with that. I'm not like out, hey, this guy sucks, he shouldn't be in the league. But I don't think that's hey, there's so much upside in this Geno guy that we can really feel hopeful that this is like some sort of answer, even in the medium term rather than long term. So I don't know what there is to get excited about other than some of these draft picks. You had 3 first rounders. Maybe you get we've seen that. It's funny. That's been like a hallmark of this team. They've hit on some draft picks over the last 5 years. There's been some pretty good players because we had some pretty high picks. And some of them aren't on the team anymore. But, I guess that's it as far as getting excited. You want to talk about some of the other moves they made in the offseason besides keeping the coach?
You mentioned two that I think are worth pointing out. Like Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner being traded in season last year was pretty remarkable, especially because they paid Sauce Gardner before the season, and then they sent him packing. The other lot of funny turnover in the quarterback room, although Brady Cook managed to keep his job for some reason. Bailey Zappi was signed for some reason. Cade Klubnik was drafted for some reason, and Geno Smith is being given another opportunity to start a Week 1 NFL football game, which surprises me after what we saw from him last year. But that could have been circumstance a bit.
I think his ceiling is pretty capped, but we saw decent play at times in Seattle. And I think he could get back there under the right circumstances. I don't know that a Frank Reich and Aaron Glenn team is the right circumstances, nor the rest of this roster, but it's not like Miami. I don't think you're devoid of talent on the outside. Obviously, it's a lot better wide receiver room. And Patrick's already mentioned A.D. Mitchell brought in as a free agent signing, I think.
Wait, I think that was part of the Sauce Gardner trade, wasn't it?
Was that the Gardner thing? Like,
yeah, he had some. He had some bright spots.
Did they have to? I don't know if they had to re-sign him or if he was a free agent in the offseason, they kept him, or if he just continued to be under contract. But yeah, he had some decent stuff. You got Wilson, you got, and similar to Miami, you probably got a youngster starting as well. In their third, was he the third pick in the first round for them, Omar Cooper?
Yes, he was.
He was all the way down at 30, which is crazy. So you mentioned, we've talked about David Bailey a couple times already, the second overall pick. he's day one starting pass rusher, has to be taken second overall. I think he's probably first or second on most boards for defensive rookie of the year in the odds. He took Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end, big athletic receiving tight end. I guess that kind of fits with Frank Reich. If you want to give him a shine for anything, he's expected to be ready for who's the other one? Mason Taylor. So there's a bit of, there's competition there, and Taylor's injured. But I think he's expected to be ready. So maybe, if Omar Cooper isn't fully ready for a full multitude of snaps, he can run a bunch of 12 personnel. You got some tight ends on the squad. But yeah, the Indiana, who is now a football powerhouse, Omar Cooper Jr., slot receiver. He projects to, be out there on all the three receiver sets, I suppose, because I'm not sure what the rest of the depth chart's going to do for you with Tim Patrick and Isaiah Williams. So you got three rookies that are probably seeing some decent time right away, which is fun.
Oh yeah.
If you have low expectations of the wins, at least you can get excited about those guys. They had another corner they took in the second round, D'Angelo Pons, another Hoosier. He's probably playing as well, because you need help when you're out there. It's funny, like when you mentioned, like when you're in the nickel, which is basically base defense nowadays. So he's probably your nickel corner, especially because you're going into the season without Sauce Gardner. You got to continue to figure out what works out there. They took Cade Klubnik. They traded up, developmental quarterback. I didn't watch much Clemson. I don't think they were especially exciting this year. I think people were disappointed in them. I don't know. I don't know if this is some kid that's going to make it in the league. I'm sure people who watch more college football than me have a take on that. I don't think it affects how my power ratings are going this year. And then some depth in rounds 4 through 7. They had 3 more picks.
Re-signed
Breece Hall.
Some of the other moves of the biggest confusing part for me was they spent a lot of money on defense for a lot of players who I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, really did not move the needle. They felt like they had to rebuild the defensive trenches after trading away what's his face, Quinnen Williams, and they go out and get Tavondre Sweat. All right, whatever.
I like him.
Yeah, but like for what they
big.
He's big, but they lose Jermaine Johnson in that trade also. So it's like kind of net even. Michael Carter was probably their best cornerback last year. He's gone. Elijah Vera Tucker signed by the Patriots is a minus. John Simpson signed by the Ravens is a minus. Quincy Williams was your best linebacker last year. He is now a Brown. Tony Adams is gone as well. You got Minkah Fitzpatrick, who again I don't think has anything left.
You know what he has?
What's that?
What did the 2025 New York Jets lack last year? On the defense, in the defensive secondary against the pass game, in a stat that is easily measured.
Oh, they did not have an interception. Yes. I forgot
He's
about
a ball
that.
hawk. He's a ball hawk. It feels like they get one this year. I'm on board over 0.5 interceptions for this defense. They got a lot. I mean, you're right, because Fitzpatrick.
They signed Nahshon Wright, who's not a plus in my opinion. Joseph Osai is not a plus in my opinion. Demario Davis. I love him as a player when he was at his peak. What is he?
Veteran.
Is this year 40? Is this his 40-year season? I don't understand that one. David Onyemata also well past his prime. Kingsley Enagbare is not a needle mover. Yeah, they spent a lot of money on their defense trying to reshape this and trying to stock it with talent, and I think they kind of spent a lot of money for nothing. Looks like a bad defense that's going to be coordinated by a bad coach.
Yeah. As you mentioned, they lost Elijah Vera Tucker up front. Nick Folk They swapped kickers too. Jason Sanders in. Yeah, it's a weird rebuild. It doesn't have the same whiffs of Miami as far as like, hey, everything's young and shitty, we're gonna lose, because they brought in too many, like you said, they brought in too many veteran pieces where you go get like a Demario Davis and on Yamada. Tavondre Sweat I like because I just love huge nose tackles. And I think Nahshon Wright has upside, but as you say, right now, how you rate him, I don't think it's a big plus. So it's a strange roster rebuild at the moment, and it's not going to be rated very high for us.
Yeah,
because you're gonna have Nahshon Wright and Brandon Stevens on the outside. Like we said, D'Angelo Pons probably is your nickel corner. Cisco and Fitzpatrick on the back end of safeties. Demario Davis is gonna have to play. He's gonna have to start. He's your middle linebacker, man. He's right there.
His age 37 season for Demario.
Yeah, and then what could be a good front, David Bailey if he works out. Will McDonald obviously has upside. It's another high draft pick on the edge. Tavondre Sweat and Onyemata up front. So there's positives. And on the offensive side, I have it as Fashanu Parham, Myers, Tippmann, Membu across the front. Breece Hall, we mentioned, was extended, I think, as your lead back. Geno Smith under center. Exciting stuff, guys.
Yeah. Well, let's start there for rating. What does a Geno Smith number look like right now? Where did you have him last year by the end of the year with the Raiders?
It was bad. It was so bad.
Maybe like in the one or two kind of
ballpark. And I'm higher than you here. I went with 4.4.
Really?
I went I wanted to go higher because I think his ceiling is above average. We saw it, and we're never getting back there. So I went with the ceiling number because I like the receiving core / running back enough, and I don't have a high opinion of Frank Reich, but I think it's an upgrade, which is I guess saying something about how we feel about. I mean, we didn't really talk about some of the coaches that were let go. Tanner Engstrom or Engstrand.
Engstrand, yeah.
Engstrand was your offensive coordinator. Steve Wilkes was the DC that is no longer on. I think he was cut during the season.
Well, that one was one where it was just like oil and water. It was oil and water with what Glenn wanted to do, and Steve Wilkes' like philosophy. Like they were just completely talking past each other, which again was like that's an indictment of your ability as a head coach if you hire someone who can't run the defense
and your ability as a GM when you put that sort of staff together. So, I'm behind this line with these receivers with Reich rather than what we had in the desert there. I think he's in a better. This is crazy. I don't feel good about saying this. I just got sick to my stomach. Geno is in a better situation here with the New York Jets. Slightly, and I think he can be.
He has a slightly more talented wide receiver room and a slightly better offensive line.
Yeah, and I don't. Well, I mean, where did you think? I know you probably don't have this in front of you. Where do you think you had him at the peak of his powers in Seattle? Like a 55?
6.
Yeah. Yeah, a 5.5 or a 6. Like he's not getting there. I don't know that he's getting to the average.
His best year was his Seattle year before he went to the Raiders. So I think my best number on him would have been the start of like preseason last year. I definitely bet the Raiders against the Patriots week 1.
How'd they go for you?
I can't remember. Didn't they win?
I have no idea how that game went.
I think they won. I forget though. I completely forget. Maybe they didn't win.
Where do you have your Geno Reich number? I'm at a 4.4.
Yeah, the Raiders won 20-13.
There you go.
My my number for Geno last year heading into the season was above 5. I'm coming in now at a 3.2, and a ton of it is because I I cannot put into words how much I hated the Frank Reich hire.
Yeah, it's a limiting hire. It's a very limiting hire. I still will go to bat for Geno and say it's a slightly better situation. I think he could be okay, but his ceiling is really like league average, and I don't know that we see it. So I'm probably at the high point of my range for where this offense quarterback OC number is going to be.
Frank Reich's last two spots, by the way, 2022 at Indy, he was fired after week 9. 2023 at Carolina, he was fired after week 12. So didn't even make it through his first season.
Did they even fire people this year? They just get everybody on the same day.
I don't know. Good question. Anyway, Frank Reich hasn't run a plus CV offense since going back to I don't know what, Philly maybe. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a really long time. I'll happily eat crow if this is a match made in heaven and the results sing. But and again, like I said, it feels like the dumbest possible thing to happen would be the Jets win too many games to draft a quarterback. And so I'm kind of just expecting that that's what's going to happen.
You need to raise your Geno number then. Skill position, I think we're close.
Yeah, this is a good group, but not great. A lot of upside, though. I'm at 3.8 for now.
It is.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm at a 3.6. I'm close. Wilson's your number one. You have a good running back in Breece Hall. You're keeping him. It gets real thin after AD Mitchell because you're putting your hopes and dreams on a third receiver who's never played a snap, and then a rookie / sophomore tight end split, and that's kind of it.
This is one of those where it's we're correct right now. By the end of the season, it could be higher, and then going into next year with all of these young guys,
6 next
year, and a good offensive coordinator, presumably. What am I talking about? The Jets aren't hiring a good offensive coordinator. Next with a better system, and these guys all kind of hitting their prime. This unit's going to look scary, but it's not this year for me. 3.8 offensive line, league average for me, just a hair under 4.9. Some of that is downgrades to the guard room. Don't love Joe Tippmann. Worried about Dylan Parham. Josh Myers is not my favorite center. Fashanu and Membu are good.
I have a 3.2 and I don't like it. Especially, I thought you'd come in at a 4, and I would be upset that my number was lower than yours. And we're off by quite a bit here.
Okay.
And a lot of it is I'm trying to use some of last year's numbers, and I'm working through this, and I want to talk a little process here because offensive line, it's tough to grade when you have Brady Cook at quarterback or Justin Fields. So sure. I think that's dragging some of my data down, and I need to find ways to adjust for that because I don't believe my 3.2 number is correct. I think it should be closer to yours. I'm going to adjust this right now. I just left it because I didn't have time this morning with other things. I like the bookends, Membu and Fashanu. I think we're headed somewhere with where you got first. You got a couple of good first round hits on some decent tackles. As you mentioned, I'm very out on Myers as a center. I think he's a definite weak spot. Parham coming in. There's a lack of cohesion as well there with some of the new guys coming in, and then Tippmann is below average for me. So it's lower than it should be. I'm probably going to bring this up, but at the same time, I think that's something worth mentioning. If you are starting to look at stats or even individual ratings for offensive players, especially offensive linemen from last year, it is hard to divorce their quarterback behind them because quarterbacks can make an offensive line look bad. And I think this is a pretty glaring example of that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the interior guys all get 70s. The two tackles are in the 80s for me as far as a good grade. a fair grade. And so in total, this is about a league average unit. And I think that there's definitely scope for, the tackles are not perfect, right? Like what Membu is a good pass blocker and a meh run blocker, and Fashanu is the opposite or something. I get them confused in terms of.
Well, and too, it's tough to grade some of that based on the scheme, and I don't think anybody was in love with the scheme or the sequencing or the play calling from last year either.
They're both good. Sorry, Fashanu and Membu are both good pass and both meh run blocking for me. So, yeah. I don't know. League average, I think, is right.
I gave coaching a 2.6 intangibles, and I'm kind of embarrassed of that one too. You went with a 1, and I can't be mad at you. I don't know. It's just like Frank Reich is alive, and he's gonna show up.
This is a 38th percentile offense for me, 27th best in the NFL. Defense for me, I'm willing to give them close to league average for run stop with Sherwood and Demario. I think their pass rush is pretty weak. Even if David Bailey hits, I think this is like a 3.0 coverage. I'm at 3.0. Not in any way, shape, or form enamored with these cornerbacks. I think D'Angelo Pons is going to get a lot of starts, and he's going to be a problem. Brandon Stevens is a problem, period. And I think they bought high on Nahshon Wright. I think Nahshon Wright had a fine season last year, but if he replicates that, I'll be a bit surprised. Don't like Andre Sisco, the free safety, and I think Minkah Fitzpatrick potentially washed. So 3-4 coverage in total. This defense gets a 35th percentile, 30th overall for me.
Yeah, pass rush for me, I'm a little higher, but right in that same range, 3.5. Upside with Bailey. I think Will McDonald can take a step forward. The rebuilt interior isn't super exciting, but it's solid. And Mignata, Sweat, Phillips. There's some decent grades to be had here, even now that you've lost the really good player that you traded away last year. But pass rush can be okay. I think it probably caps out based on how Will McDonald and David Bailey play. So it's hard to say with some young players with unknown upside. Run stop, I was almost identical at a 5. You got a huge nose tackle. You got a solid linebacker level, at least enough with Sherwood and old man Demario Davis. Run defense probably can be pretty average, and I think we nailed that. I'm lower than you in secondary even. With a
2.0. I mean, that's how bad the numbers were last year, but I really think a lot of that is skewed by like the degree of not trying.
Yeah. The degree of not trying, not having a guy you paid in Sauce on the secondary for a big part of the season. They didn't intercept a single ball, as we mentioned. It's just like you rebuilt it from scratch. So I do believe secondary has some similarities to offensive line as far as cohesion. When you're handing guys off, or you're trying to find where exactly where those gaps are. And Minkah Fitzpatrick, Sisco, Stevens, Nahshon Wright, none of them are big pluses. Like you said, if you don't think Minkah Fitzpatrick has some sort of renaissance, this is a pretty bad group of players. It's going to also include a rookie. So I'm pretty low right now. I'm going to start at the bottom. They can impress me and we can move this up, I guess.
Okay. This is Minkah Fitzpatrick's age 30 season. Last year was a down year for him. His best year was 2019 by my ratings. Yeah. So it's been a while.
I had a higher special teams rating, but we changed kickers, so I had to trim it to a 6. I'm at a negative 5.2 here. This is almost as low as Miami for me. That said, I am going to change up my offensive line number. This will come up a little. I'm probably going to be just shy of 5. I'm going to be in a minus 4, minus 4.8 kind of range, I suppose, for this team.
Okay, I'm at a minus.
I did change up a little how I, how I come up with my power numbers based on the ratings too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm at a minus 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4.8. 4. That's fun. I'm basically pulling from the percentiles how you would perform against an average team in terms of points conceded and points allowed to get my number. And that's how I'm at minus 3.69. 28th best team in football, not as low as the market, which has them at minus 5.11. So very close to your number, the market. You're a hair below market. I'm a hair above. Well, I'm more than a hair above. I'm like a point above. But
as you can see, if you're watching on our little radar chart, that dotted line is league average. And they're not getting above that line anywhere except for my special teams rating. God bless them. And that's a very small part of the pie. So, yeah, it's more upside than Miami, though. Do you think? Or do you think?
I think so, just because
their
schedule is easier.
They have an easier schedule. The only case I could make for Miami is they have upside at the correct position, where I think Malik Willis's ceiling is probably higher than Geno's if things all work out right. Whereas this is, hey, does our rookie edge rusher turn out? Does this rebuilt interior defensive line work out? Are we a really strong run stop unit? Is the coverage going to mesh quickly? Is the interior offensive line going to play okay? So it's a bunch of some of the parts things rather than if Malik Willis is good, they're going to be squirrely. They're still going to lose a grip of games because of the schedule.
Yep.
But they'll be a fun team to watch, and they'll cover some big numbers, which leads us to the schedule. The schedule.
Yike. You start out with Tennessee. Robert Saleh getting a crack at his old team week 1. That's going to be a forgettable game.
Is that in prime time? That's not the Monday night game, is it?
No.
Tennessee, New York?
That's a 1 p.m. kick.
Yeah. 1 p.m. noon. Yeah.
No prime time for the Jets, thank God. Only 2 4 p.m. games. Every other game starts at 1 p.m. kickoff for them. They are buried. Thank God they are buried in the middle of the day slate for every Sunday of this season, which is just a relief. They are favored 4 times, hosting Cleveland, hosting Miami, hosting Las Vegas, and hosting at the Cardinals. They are favored. That's how low the Cardinals rating is. The Jets on the road are favored against the Cardinals. 1 and 2 other games where your dogs have under a field goal. If you take care of business and you win those coin flips, you are a 6-win team. And you're picking 10th in the draft. I feel like this is just where this is headed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you sweep Miami, you win your other, short favorites. You beat the Browns, and God knows what they're putting out at quarterback. You beat the Raiders, probably the rookie at that point. You beat Carson back. I don't know who you're playing against there. What line looks way off?
Which one?
That one. I'm high on the Vikings. I do think Kyler just thrives. That one could be drastically different if Kyler and Jefferson start to mesh.
Yeah. Even
in New York late in the season.
Yeah.
Which, oh man, I had a good trivia question for you because I think we got a little time here. We've moved quickly through the Jets because mostly it's, hey, what are they doing keeping Glenn? And this is a messy season. But The Athletic did an article because I don't remember what player it was, came out and was mad that they put grass down at MetLife for the soccer. And then they're just going to be like, well, back to turf, guys. Fuck you and your knees and your ACLs and your Achilles. We don't care. But the Athletic put out an article about that, and they had a little infographic split out by division showing who has real turf and who has grass. And there are 2 of the 8 divisions where 3 of the 4 teams are turf. And, you got to think about some of these cold weather cities that are indoors and they don't have a choice. Minnesota's not going to have real grass. It's just how it's going to work. So can you name those 2 divisions?
That have 3 grass fields?
4 teams.
That have 3 grass fields?
They have 3 turf fields.
3 turf fields. Oh.
3 of the 4 teams are turf in 2 divisions, only 2. It will stun you.
The NFC East.
No.
No?
Nope.
Phillies grass?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. AFC South. Oh, sorry, NFC South. The NFC South has
NFC South.
Yeah, the NFC South.
Only Tampa Bay has grass.
Only Tampa has grass, and then
because even Carolina is turf.
Yeah.
Yeah, Washington and Philly are grass for the
Washington and
NFC
Philly are
East.
grass. I didn't know if I don't know why I didn't put together that Philly was grass. And then let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's the other one. AFC East?
The AFC South.
AFC
Both
South
divisions.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, the South, because that's where they're the most of the
What's the grass field? Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, yep. NRG,
Tennessee.
Nissan, and Lucas are all turf.
Okay.
That's weird. Yeah, there was one division where 3 of the 4 are grass, and it is the AFC North. Only Cincinnati plays on turf. Actually, West, AFC West as well.
The funny thing about the Jets schedule here, Andy, 2 of the 4 games they're favored in, you're facing a team coming off their bye, Miami and Arizona. So those might actually not be wins. Easy travel, a couple other small rest disadvantages. Basically, they're playing 11 games against flat out good teams that they just really don't have much of a chance against. So there's 11 losses on the schedule. It's kind of a matter of, are you a 4, a 5, or a 6-win team, depending on how you handle your coin flips. What say you? Jets 4, 5, or 6?
Yeah, I mean, I have them pretty close to Miami, and as you mentioned, the differentiating factor between them and Miami, besides the upside stuff we just talked about, is the schedule. There's more winnable games here, but you have a weird hot seat lame duck situation with a very mid staff and a quarterback that, even though I was a little higher and I said some nice things about Geno Smith, it could be more of the same from last year. So the win total here is 5.5, pretty much across the market. I think
I'm projecting
pretty evenly. I think it's about -110 at most places both ways.
Yeah, I'm projecting 4.6 wins for the Jets. They have the 19th toughest schedule. I'm projecting 3.8 wins for the Dolphins. Dolphins have the 2nd toughest schedule by my numbers.
Yeah.
Toughest schedule belongs to? You get a guess?
I don't know.
Arizona Cardinals.
Oh,
they got to play the Rams twice, and they got to play the Seahawks twice. Yeah. I'm projecting.
This is another one where
Patrick, before you get involved with Jets' last winless team, go look at the Cardinals schedule. Take a quick lap at the Cardinals schedule. It's something. Anyway,
maybe this is another one too, where Buffalo is the final game of the season at Buffalo, and if they are maybe have locked up a playoff position, and Josh's hip is hurting or something, you get to play the backup there, and the win total. It's always fun when the win total comes down to a
flips
game
on the last day.
Motherfucker, really? Why put the starters in, you guys? What are we doing here when you have that under? So.
Yeah, that sounds right. All right, man. Jets. If you're going to get weird, first coach fired is an interesting one. Woody Johnson and company don't do a lot of in-season firing. They did fire Saleh in season, if you remember correctly, but I think that had to do with his stance on the Middle East.
Well, he embarrassed him in London too.
He embarrassed him in London. Where he was Woody Johnson was the former ambassador. They might fire Aaron Glenn in season. I think firing in season will come down to Frank Reich just is completely out of his element. He can't run an offense. There's no growth in the defense, despite putting all of this, capital, draft capital, and dollar capital into this defense. If it's the 30th best defense, which it could be through half the season, what is Glenn doing here? So
Yeah, we could just let's pull that meeting up a few months.
Yeah, I think there's a world where he's the first coach fired. Probability wise, I'd say maybe like 20% ish.
You know, the only advantage, and yes, Patrick's they're stupid to fire him midseason after keeping.
But they're a stupid franchise.
They're a stupid franchise. And here's the thing: if they do it, you do get that leg up on hiring the next guy. Yeah. You get the early interviews on some of these playoff teams. You can do some of those Zoom calls with the coordinators in between playoff games. You do get a little bit of a leg up there. And maybe you get the interim bump and you become a little more of a, hey, this is a team I think can compete. And some of these candidates are actually interested in there. Gil's asking Jets, Pats, Bills, or turf. Bills are grass. That is grass up there. But yeah, Gillette and East Rutherford are turf. Carolina was another one too, Patrick. I agree with you there. If you'd have made me guess, I would have forgot that Carolina had that weird, like, synthetic stuff. Yeah, I don't have a lot of award stuff here. I mean, what do you... Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm guessing Bailey's right there. I think he's 5-1-ish. He's a day one starting edge. He's going to be one of the favorites. If you want to lay chalk there, God bless you. I don't know that that's probably the plan with some of the other guys that are going to get playing time as well.
David Bailey's plus 480, D-Roy.
Yeah, is he favorite or second favorite?
First choice.
First choice. So it's a tough price.
Ruben Bain Jr. is your second choice. After that, it's Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs, and Masur Delane.
Masur. 19-1 to win the AFC East. 86-1 to win the AFC Championship. 200-1 to claim another Lombardi Trophy. Don't see that happening this year. I don't think they have an offensive Rookie of the Year candidate. We're not giving that to a tight end.
Cooper Jr. It's just not going to be enough volume. Too many
enough volume. Yeah, and Sadiq will get a bunch of time, but we've proven a tight end is not allowed to win it because we had a Rookie of the Year at tight end, and they still decided that wasn't a thing that was going to happen.
You got to guess the favorite of the O'Roy. It's not Jeremiah Love.
I mean, is it just the quarterback? Yeah, I was going to say he's going to get in there eventually. I think his number goes like Dart though too, where it drops off a little as they play Kirk a couple games, and you can maybe grab a nice number. I was so happy with my Dart number until he started busting his brain.
Yeah, he was live.
Remember we chasing that dragon on Shough? Oh my god, I had such a big.
What was that number?
Like
30?
200-1 or something.
200? Was it that big?
I think I'm gonna have to go look. It was people. Well, not. I mean, other people had gotten way earlier and gotten huge numbers. Like people were DMing or hitting us in the comments with these massive prices we had on Shough. I think maybe I got 75-1. I'm gonna have to think now. I have to go back and look through my lost bets that I lost because it was not a winner. But boy, he gave us a scare. And that's
your winner. Rightfully so. Tedderell McMillan was your winner.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Okay.
I did take some. I did win on Tet McMillan. Not net winnings
or something like that.
No. I took him like at the end of the year, like minus 175 for how much do I have to bet to cover, my Shough and my Dart and all my other stuff and just come out of this mess even. And I bet that. So we at least didn't end up as a net negative.
The Jets, I think, will get an interception. Yes. If you can find them, that's good. That's good to minus 167. Yes. Interception, yes.
Can you imagine 2 straight years?
I don't know, man. I'm not going to watch a lot of the Jets this year. I'm not going to be sad about it. You are?
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's football. It's all good. It's fine. Let's go. I there's some fun young rookies. I want to see how they play.
Okay. Well, Geno Smith is the week 18 starter, yes or no?
Oh, buddy, have you looked at the depth chart?
It's fucking terrible, yeah. But maybe they
started
want to
Brady
see
Cook last year, so
yeah. What if they want? Is there a world where they want to see what they got in Cade Klubnik?
I think if Geno's real bad, you're like sitting there at 3-11, I guess. If you think he's ready, you get a game or two out of him. I think you know what you have in Brady Cook. You don't trot that out there again. So yeah, perhaps if Geno underperforms and it's not good, you hey, let's see what this rookie can do. I mean, they traded up to get him. Like in the deeper rounds, but still, it'll be interesting. Yeah, and that's all I have to say about the Jets.
All right, man.
We'll have two more, much more fun teams to talk about on Wednesday. We'll get into the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. A couple
First,
teams.
Even though they represented the AFC in the Super Bowl last year, they are the second choice in the market to win the AFC East.
Because they got the Super Bowl loser hangover.
Oh, right. I figured it's because people are out on Vrabel.
A little bit.